everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video.
Hello!
So today is a requested video and it is our tips for a budget trip to Disneyland Paris.
Yes. The first thing I want to say though is that it is rather hot today.
Yes.
I think when I checked before, it had reached 32 degrees today.
I think it's about 32 right now.
So if you see me perspiring, that's why.
You know why. I think this is the first day of the second heat wave. So I think it's going on until Saturday or Sunday. So very, very hot in the UK right now. But yeah, we wanted to get this video filmed. It's one that's been requested quite a lot, and we've put together 10 tips. So we're going to go through those tips and share what we have found to make Disneyland Paris that little bit more affordable. It still is an expensive holiday, and we do recognise that. But yeah, hopefully these 10 tips will help to make it that much more affordable. Yeah.
It's like when we say budget, if there's still, there's still going to be price involved.
Disney, as in general, is just expensive. So yeah, hopefully these tips will help, and hopefully maybe there's some stuff on there that you haven't thought of before, because these are things that we've picked up from going and from trying to do budget trips ourselves.
Yeah, and these are our opinions, not like cemented in fact. So if you have any opinions and tips as well, then pop them in the comments.
Yes. So let's get started. So number one, this is kind of a weird one because it sounds not very budget friendly. But number one is to consider getting an annual pass. And I know that sounds weird because annual passes are expensive. But if you are thinking of going, I'd say more than twice in 1 year, then it is definitely worth getting an annual pass. You'll end up saving money because if you buy tickets separately, they can come out to a lot more money. So I would look at the annual passes. We're going to do a completely separate video all about the annual passes. But I would definitely look at how much an annual pass is and then compare that with how much you're going to spend on tickets that year. Going to Disneyland Paris, because for us, we definitely go more than twice a year. So it works out a lot cheaper for us to get an annual pass.
And then when you factor other things in, like parking, which is included in the annual pass, we're saving some money there as well. And then with the Infinity Pass that we got the photo pass included for the year as well. So that's another saving you're making. So it's like trying to think of those extra things that you might spend money on, and then also how many times you're going. So try and factor it all into one sort of decision. Yeah,
I would say, in my opinion, if you're going to go more than once in that year, really, really consider getting an annual pass. I think it is definitely worth it, and I think you'll end up saving money, and also the discounts make it so worth it. But yeah, that's a little bit of a weird one because obviously you have to pay out for the annual pass initially, but I really do believe that it can save you money in the long run.
I think there's the option as well to do it monthly.
Yes,
if you wish. But yeah, we know that not everyone can. Everyone can't just decide that they want an annual pass. So yeah, it's just something that you have to have a think about.
Yeah, definitely. So tip number 2 is to bring your own water bottle to the park. This one is one of our top tips because it can save you so much money. If you're buying 2 to 3 water bottles a day from the park, that will really, really add up. Yeah,
and they've got water fountains around the park. Now, we found recently, during the whole situation, they weren't having some of them operational, were they? But when we went back recently, they were back on, weren't they?
They were
or
back
at least
on.
The large majority of them were back on.
Yeah, so we were able to fill up our own water bottles. I saw that you can get collapsible water bottles as well, which I think is really clever.
Oh, yeah.
So basically they collapse down, and then you can fill them with water, and then once you finish that water bottle, they collapse back down again until you fill them up. So that's quite a good space saver.
Yeah.
But even if not, we just bring our own water bottles, fill them up, and then keep filling them up whilst we're enjoying the parks. But that is a huge tip, because if we didn't have our own water bottles, I think we'd be spending an extra, definitely over €10 a day, probably even more just on water.
Well, yeah, I think we had to, didn't we, when we did one of the trips. like I said, when the water fountains weren't operational, then it can add up. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So number 3 is to consider staying off-site. So I think when people go to book a Disney holiday, they'll head straight to the Disney website, and on the Disney website they will have the Disney hotels and then the Disney partner hotels. Amazing hotels. If you have the money to stay there, amazing. They're great hotels.
I must say, we do check this first.
Yeah.
Before we then go and check elsewhere.
But if you are looking for more of a budget trip, don't be scared to not go to the Disney website. But I know it can be a little scary if it's your first time. You is this legit? Is this... But it is. You can head to Expedia, Booking.com, Airbnb. There are so many options outside of the Disney website to book hotels.
Yeah, people have stayed at ones
as well.
People have stayed at ones that we haven't even considered.
Yeah.
So it's there's a large amount around that area.
Yeah.
And there's a large amount that are still within walking distance.
Yeah. So when you go to book the hotel, just check on maps, just see how far it is. If you do stay in the Marne Valley area, you can get a train to the parks. And also, a lot of them do offer their own buses or shuttle buses as well, if you don't have a car. And then if you have a car, of course, you can drive to the parks.
It's hard for us sometimes when we look at the Disney hotel prices. And then what we do is we go off to Expedia and we search the prices of the hotels that are nearby. Like, for example, we stayed at Hotel Dali the last time, and just the difference is huge in terms of price, and it's just trying to weigh up in your mind. It's at this precise moment in time, do I mind spending a bit more or do I want to rake it in and go for something a bit cheaper?
And like we were saying before with the annual passes, if you already have an annual pass, then the appeal of a Disney hotel and ticket combo isn't that high. So if you have an annual pass, it can work out so much cheaper to stay off site because you don't have to worry about the Disney tickets. So don't be scared to look at off-site hotels. We have friends that stayed in a great Airbnb, which was walking distance.
That was just up a bit past Adagio.
Yeah, and that whole Marne Valley area is lovely. We love it there.
Yeah.
Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know.
It's either Marne Valley or Marne Val.
Or Valais. I thought it was Valais.
Or Valais. Apologies. But yeah, that whole area is lovely. It has its own shopping centre. There's so much to do. We love High Park by Adagio Ceres. We always find that is very reasonable. Yeah. And that's walking distance to the parks. So that's probably our top budget hotel that is walking distance, but there are loads, so do check out Expedia. We also have perks from our work, so I don't know whether that's an option for anyone watching as well, because I know people forget. For a long time I forgot to use it, but we both get Expedia discounts through our perks at work.
It's worth checking even things like if you've got a credit card or your bank account and stuff like that, because I've noticed that they've got sometimes offers linked in with those sorts of things. But I get some offers through health insurance and things like that.
Health insurance.
So definitely have a check and see if they can be applied to any of the sort of accommodation sites.
That's what we tend to do. We tend to use our discount, check Expedia, and then see what the best option is. Yeah. But don't be scared of offsite.
We always hover over the Disney hotel.
Yeah.
The different Disney hotels.
I mean, sometimes the price difference is thousands. It's not even hundreds, it's thousands. The price difference is huge.
I know this is completely off track and we were talking about staying off-site, but if you've got an annual pass as well, you can ring up to the reservation sort of hotline and they can give you a little bit of a discount on some of the hotels. But it's never big
enough to rival High Park, Adagio or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll see going forward. Oh, by the way, do you like my top?
Oh yeah. That's the first time you wore it.
The first time I've worn it, the Euro Disney one that you got on the last trip.
This is making me get excited to go back to Disneyland Paris. I feel like after this I'm going to do my own Expedia checking.
Our own budget trip.
Number 4, if you have a Tesco Club card, you can use this to get money off of the Eurotunnel.
I only found this out the last time that we went.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how I even thought of it. I just went on the app, Tesco Club Card app, and it's for every £5 voucher that you like accumulate with your Tesco Club Card points, you get £15 off a Eurotunnel. So I mean, if you just kept collecting points,
I know
you can get
big. We've used it recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we used it on the last trip. Got £15 off. So it makes a difference, you know. It might not sound like a lot, but
yeah. No, it definitely makes a difference. So if you shop at Tesco, or just get a Tesco Club Card and just use it whenever you do.
Yeah. They've got loads of different things you can look at, but if we're talking about just Disney, then
Eurotunnel is a big saving. And then going on from this, number 5, we have found that driving to Disneyland Paris is always the cheapest option. So either getting the ferry or the Eurotunnel and then driving over tends to be the cheapest option. I know that flights, if booked in advance, can be cheap as well. So do bear that in mind. But those options definitely over the Eurostar. The Eurostar always comes out as the most expensive whenever I look.
I think whenever we've looked,
Yeah. So we would definitely recommend, if you have a car and you don't mind driving, then look into driving because it could save you quite a bit of money.
I think I haven't checked in a while, but I think the ferry was the cheapest.
Yeah, the ferry is the cheapest. It is longer.
It depends whereabouts in the country you're also based.
Yes, definitely. So for us, because we are not too far away from the ferry and the Eurotunnel, it's okay. But if you are coming from up north, then it might be better to fly, because I don't know.
You have to factor in petrol
and hotel if you have to stay overnight and all those things. But we find that the Eurotunnel or the ferry are always the cheapest options for us.
And if you want any more information on driving over in France, I did a video recently.
Yes.
So I'll pop that. That'll be one of those floating eyes.
Next is we need to take our own advice for this, and that is to book in advance. We are the worst. We always book last minute trips, and they're always more expensive. The closer you get, the more expensive it gets, especially if you're going at a busy time.
Can I defend ourselves?
Yeah.
It's just, with the work that I have at the moment is like, the rota doesn't come out for a little while. You only get sort of up to a certain point, and then you don't know like what it's going to be like next year, or I don't know. So it's hard to sort of decide.
Yeah, and if we're trying to like not use as many holiday days,
I can't book holidays for next year until it gets to next year.
Weird. But yeah, so book in advance as much as possible. Have a little look. We find that January, I feel like part of me doesn't want to share this because I don't want loads of people to book for January and then the prices go up.
Sharon's caring.
Whenever we look, January, the hotels are very, very reasonable.
Good prices. Those are the times where we think, oh yeah, we could stay at Disney Hotel.
I think it's a combination of just after Christmas, the children are back at school, and it's cold. And sometimes the entertainment hasn't started up again. But the park should be quiet, and also the hotels are a lot cheaper. So if you haven't considered going in January, just pack some hot hands, pack a big coat, and have a little look.
Hand, baby, got my hands. Sorry, if you say it, I've got to do the song.
And then leading on from that as well, obviously there are more expensive times, so the summer holidays will be more expensive than off-peak. Christmas will be more expensive, Halloween week. So yeah, try and book. I know it's difficult if you are going with children of a school age, but yeah, try and look outside of those times, and yeah, book in advance because it really does make a huge difference.
Still trying to find that perfect moment for the Art of Marvel Hotel.
Yes.
We haven't found it yet.
Yeah. I do think it will be a January stay because it drops down by like quite a few thousand when we've looked, which is insane. Next is to bring your own food. So this works well if you book somewhere with a kitchen or a kitchenette. So like Hyde Park, which has apartments, or if you stay at an Airbnb, they normally have kitchens. And this can save you a lot of money because you can eat breakfast at your hotel or apartment, and then you can also maybe prepare lunch and take that with you, or eat it at the apartment. And this can save you a lot of money because obviously the food in the parks is a lot more expensive.
And there's two options. It's like we normally we'd usually buy food in advance and pack a little case.
Yeah, especially if you're going on the Eurotunnel.
And then we just drive over with it. Although there are certain things that you're not allowed to take, which I think quite recently that changed, so double check that. But then, I mean, when you get there, if you're staying in the area that we've been talking about, there's a supermarket very close by.
Yeah, huge supermarket. So yeah, you can go there, stock up for the however many days you're there. I'd say breakfast is a big one. If you can eat breakfast at your apartment and not spend out, that can save you a good amount of money.
Yeah, we buy some pain au chocolat.
Yeah, pain au chocolat, some cereal. But yeah, you can be as fancy or as simple as you like if you're buying your own food.
The kitchenette is very good because then we'd normally like to break in the day.
Yeah.
Go back and have beans on toast.
Also, if you are planning to eat in the park, have a look at the different restaurants because they can differ quite a lot. So somewhere like Bistro Chez Remy is a sit-down restaurant that is a lot more expensive than Cafe Hyperion, which is a quick service. So if it is your first time and you're looking at all the restaurants and you think that they're all the same, they're not. Some of them are a lot more expensive. And then if you look on the app, they have a little symbol, I think, to show how expensive it is.
Yeah.
But in general, the quick service restaurants are a lot more affordable than the sit-down ones. But yeah, don't fall into the trap of thinking, oh, I'll book anything, they're all the same, because some of them are a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So next, leading on from that one, the different bars have different pricing. And I didn't realise this until a couple of trips in, I think. So I just assumed that whatever bar you went to, because they all have pretty similar cocktail lists, and I thought, well, all the drinks will be the same price. But they're not.
I think it was we noticed because it was like the glotinis.
The glotini.
Were different in different places. It's almost like you're paying for
the experience.
Where you are, yeah.
So sports bar tends to be the cheapest to have cocktails or alcohol or drinks. Yeah. And then it gets more and more expensive. And then the Disneyland Hotel, which isn't open at the moment, but the
Cafe Fantasia,
that had the most expensive, and then all the other bars kind of fitted in between. So yeah, definitely look out for that, because if you are looking to save money, head to somewhere like the sports bar instead of the Cafe Fantasia.
And I think on the app you can look at the menus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just I wasn't sure, but we checked, and you can check on the app to see the menus, and then you can compare. You can add it to the planning, because planning's always an exciting part.
Yes. So then number 9, I get loads of questions about like what money to take. So how we do it is that we have a travel money card. It's a post office one, and we got that when we worked on cruise ships.
Yeah.
So we've had that for ages, and we do tend to use that when we're there. Doesn't work all the time though. Especially in Walt Disney World, we had a lot of issues with it. It tends to work more in Disneyland Paris.
I don't think we had did we have any issues?
No, because I think it was down to it. So in Walt Disney World, they what's it called? Kind of like they hold the money and then they take it later on.
Yeah.
And that's why it didn't work. But for transactions that happen there and then, which tends to be the case.
Because you have to sign.
Yeah. In Disneyland Paris, it did work. So it does say, like, when you have a travel money card, it says that it might be restricted and that you can't use it on cruise ships, because that happens as well. And
stuff like that. And the thing that I realised that you had to sort of do to get it to work was you had to put the pin in.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah. So we do tend to use our travel money card. We like that because you're not just using your card. So you have to really think about how much money you're going to put on it. And then also you're able on the app to see how much you've spent and then add more money. So we find that easier to budget rather than just using your own card and not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
But you are able to use cash as well, because I know a lot of people like to budget using cash.
Yeah.
And getting a certain amount out for each day. So you are able to use euros, and yeah, I'd say either a travel money card or cash, because then you're not just using your own card and not really keeping track.
Yeah. Also, one thing I did notice is if you wanted to give any tips to anyone, they couldn't take it on a card. So like we're thinking we need to have some spare
Cash,
change.
just to give to them.
And then we don't do this, but we probably should. We should probably like get money out and then make that money the merch money, so that we don't overspend.
Yeah.
Because that can happen on our trips.
Yeah, and I know it's really difficult because stuff does go. So I do say get stuff when you see it, but at the same time, also try and budget for the whole trip merch-wise. So if there is something which they always have, and it's not like a limited edition thing or anything like that, then maybe wait until the end of the trip. But that is hard because there is a lot of merch that comes out that day and you have to get it when you see it.
Like, it's not easy. And even though I've included it as a tip, I don't even know if we're going to do it.
And then last but not least, number 10. So as you know, sadly, they got rid of fast passes. And now you have the Premier Access, which means you have to pay per ride, essentially, to get the fast pass, line.
The last fast passes that we ever saw were actually the ones that we created for our wedding.
Yeah.
Because fast passes had already gone, hadn't they? And then we, for our table numbers and stuff, I had little fast passes.
So using the Premier Access, we've never used it actually, but
No.
that could really, really add up, especially if you are a large family and you're paying for everyone, and also the prices fluctuate. Some days they're really, really expensive. So try and not use. I know it's really tempting when you see a long queue and then you've got the money. But try and utilise the early mornings. So get up early, go to Extra Magic Hour, which we sometimes... is it extra time? Extra time.
Time, I think.
Extra Magic Times. I think it's half an hour. There's an hour.
I think it's an hour.
Is it an hour?
I think so. You got me second guessing that.
But head to the Extra Magic Time if you are staying on site or you have an annual pass, or if not, try and get there for as soon as the park opens.
Starts at 8:30.
Yeah.
I know that.
Use those hours in the morning, and then the busiest time of day is that like midday bit, and then it tends to get a lot quieter in the evening, especially during summer when the park's open till 11.
Yeah.
That evening you can get so many rides done.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah, so utilise early mornings and late evenings, maybe go for a break or a drink or lunch in that middle bit. That's how we found being able to get on rides and not pay for them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all of our little hints and tips. But again, like I said, you don't have to follow the ball.
No.
They're just our opinions, and we know that it's not easy to do some of them as well.
Yes.
So yeah, just take them on board, have a think, see if any of them fit with how you're going to do your trip.
Yeah, and like Martyn said before, if you have any tips, please put them in the comments so that people can read them as well. I'm sure there's loads which we haven't even thought of. But yeah, I hope they were a little bit helpful.
Yeah, we're always looking for help as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually made me want to plan a trip, so I might be heading up to the laptop now.
Yeah, we don't currently, for those asking, we don't currently have anything booked.
No, we're very busy at the moment, which is great. Which is, I'm really fortunate. We're busy with work and we're busy with weddings and we're busy with other trips. So we're we've got a few...
Oh, sorry, Helena does.
Oh yeah, I have a trip booked. Oh yeah, if you watched, I think I said it in a vlog or a Q&A, I'm actually heading to Disneyland Paris in November with friends from work. Sorry.
There is a possibility.
Yeah.
That Helena is going to see Avengers Campus before me.
Possibility. There's a few dates that we're thinking about, but we'll be sure to tell you.
I just might not tell you.
We're definitely not taking our own advice with this book in advance. Though.
I might not tell you and then just sneak along and not join you, but just go on my own.
No.
Well, you'll be there.
But yeah, we'll be sure to tell you as soon as we know when we're heading back, because Avengers Campus looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
We really want to see it. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. All the battery's flashing, so that's time for us to go.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button and also subscribe.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Toodle Pipski.
I'll be alive.